right now on WHSV News 3.
We are live from downtown Harrisonburg, tracking the winter storm as it moves through the valley, how the city is handling it all.
And from the roads to the radar, we're tracking the storm as it continues to move through the area. Your first alert storm team is hard at work, keeping you ahead of the snow. And businesses are usually booming with St. Patrick's Day just ahead, but the storm impacting them as well, what they're doing to keep you safe.
You're watching WHSV News 3. 11 minutes of nonstop news and weather starts right now.
Hi everyone, I'm Channing Frampton, and we are in first alert winter storm mode tonight.
I'm Carly Stevenson. Thanks for joining us and staying up with us tonight as we track the storm moving through the valley.
And we're covering the storm from all angles, as you can see, both outside and inside. Carly, we'll start with you. How are things in downtown Harrisonburg tonight?
Well, to put it pretty simply, Channing, it's snowing. It's been snowing all afternoon. I did try to speak with Harrisonburg police. They actually were too busy to talk to me because they're trying to help a disabled vehicle. A lot of vehicles are having trouble out on the roads. As far as road conditions do go, you can kind of see around me there is some snow. It's sticking. Now, I spoke with VDOT and they tell me over the phone that Augusta County, there are minor conditions, so not as much snow there, but in Rockingham County and really northern parts of the valley, Shenandoah County, we're seeing power outages and we're also seeing moderate conditions. So that means that snow is sticking, and VDOT is asking for those areas that people really stay off the road. Now, Channing, let's go ahead and head back to you and Amelia Namias.
Yeah, Amelia joins me here on the desk. And Amelia, you've been tracking this storm since we really starting to pick up on the models since late last week. Where are we right now with the system?
Well, you can see it right there. There it is, seeing that snow making its way into the area. Now that is some moisture out of the south, some cold air from the north, and we're going to smack it together and we're going to get a nice snowstorm for the valley. So you can see how zoomed out, still looking at plenty of moisture making its way into the area. Going to continue to pull that from the south and the west. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the valley. We can see some pretty decent areas of snowfall. So lots of us calling in saying we're feeling that this darker blue color, that's heavier snow. Starting to see a little bit of a break as we head into Augusta County, Pendleton, and Highland counties, but still going to continue to see that make its way into the area. Looking at plenty more snowfall overnight. The heaviest going to be midnight into the morning hours, right just before sunset. We do have winter storm warning in effect for the entire viewing area. Again, that heaviest snow overnight. We are anticipating accumulation anywhere from 2 to 8 inches and more in higher elevations. A lot of you right about that 2-inch mark and making your way up as we head toward midnight. So keep us on WHSV.com for all those updates and give us what you're seeing on our Facebook page, WHSV TV.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Amelia. And some businesses in the valley preparing for this snow already. Others waiting to see if they need to do anything in the morning. Let's take it back outside to Carly. Carly, what are businesses doing as this snow continues to come down?
Channing, it really depends on who you talk to. Now, some businesses are waiting until tomorrow to actually put a salt treatment down, and that could mean for sidewalks like these that they could be a little bit slippery.
Someone slips on their way up, the rest of their experience isn't going to be as well as it could have been.
A worker at Union Station Restaurant in Harrisonburg spent time laying down salt on the stairs up to his business. Now, they also put signs out to warn people that things could be slippery. The assistant manager says that business isn't as strong when there's snow, but they're ready for it. And people in the city are really just happy to have salt down.
I'm definitely a little bit clumsy, so I try to be really careful when walking in the snow, but I definitely appreciate it when businesses and even the town will put salt down.
Now, these sidewalks are actually pretty wet, and I can't even really tell if salt has been put down because the snow has continued to fall. And that's really one thing that businesses were telling me, is that they really want to wait for the temperatures to continue to drop and they can lay the salt down first thing in the morning. I am told, though, that Lowe's is out of salt treatment. As far as Red Front Supermarket, workers there told me they actually were expecting a shipment. They didn't get a big shipment of salt in this time because of a storm that happened recently in North Carolina. So that warehouse is out in North Carolina, stocks the salt, and they're out of luck on that. Now, for how the snow is affecting the interstates, let's go ahead and head back inside to Channing.
Thank you, Carly. And we're talking accidents all over the place, especially on the interstate tonight. A crash involving 5 vehicles has been cleared after creating at least a 5-mile backup south of Stanton earlier today. This crash happened around 5:30 this afternoon in the southbound lanes at mile marker 206 in Augusta County. This photo was taken by our own Aubrey Urbanowitz as she passed that scene clearly. One of the cars involved ended up on its side. And this is video of all the cars involved in that crash after they were taken off of the side of the road. Virginia State Police say one of the cars was following too closely, and it actually wasn't the weather conditions that led to this crash. Fortunately, nobody was hurt.
It sucks that I had cars that were probably following too closely on the ones in front of them and were able to just get off the road, and so I'm left with just seeing brakes and then cars dead stopped in front of me rather than just everyone slowing down. I feel like I would have been fine to slow down with everyone or do what they did and just pull off a little bit, but it was like people flying off rather than just slowing down and having to like pull off a little bit.
And that can happen easily on days like this. Now, 2 people were cited and charged with following too closely in that accident. And this is why we're checking in with VDOT as well about what they're expecting from this storm. Leaders say they're preparing for the heavy wet snow, which is already falling, and it's going to continue falling through the morning commute. VDOT says we should be sheltering in place during this storm and not heading out on the roads. Now, because of the way the storm's developing, crews weren't able to pre-treat those roads. VDOT will plow the interstate and primary roads first, and then the more heavily traveled secondary roads and then they'll get to neighborhoods as soon as they're able after that. But right now, I want to show you a live look. This is Interstate 81 near mile marker 251. You can see a few lights out there. It doesn't look like anything is moving. You can maybe make out the lanes of the interstate there. The snow already covering up those major highways, so workers in those plow trucks have a long night ahead of them. Stay off the roads if you can help it, everybody. And people have been getting ready for this storm all day. Visitors to our area say that they planned on making their way out before the snow got too bad. Many students in our area might be preparing for another snow day tomorrow as well. We spoke to some people who have mixed views on the white stuff.
When we miss a day, it's kind of like I kind of forgot what this is, so the teacher may have to go back and review and just kind of waste time instead of going forward.
I'm used to quite a bit of snow, and I like it. It makes me feel like I'm home.
Says a person from Canada. Now keep it on WHSV and WHSV.com for the latest school closings and delays. And because of the snow, the city of Stanton opening up a couple parking garages for us to use for free during this storm. The Johnson Street and New Street parking garages will be open free of charge through the end of this snow. Those who ordinarily use on-street parking in the downtown central business district are encouraged to park. You won't be able to park on Beverly Street between Lewis Street and Market Street from now until 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon so that they can get rid of all the snow in that area. And you, of course, are using the WHSV Snow hashtag on social media to send us your photos on Facebook and Twitter. Here's a look at some of the stuff you've sent in. This is from Frank, and he has looks like close to 5 inches or so back at 9:15 earlier this evening, so plenty of snow measuring up. And Tracy Ray using hashtag WHSV Snow. Good job. Looks like about 3 inches where she lives just near Stanton. And Susan Payne in Weir's Cave sends us this look at her patio furniture. Already that snow piling up across the region. So lots of good photos coming in. Keep them coming. We're going to have them throughout the night and until tomorrow morning. And remember, you can go to our Facebook page and comment on the storm as it continues. Just search and like WHSV TV3. And you can also get news and weather updates there, as well as on Twitter by following at WHSV News. Just use the hashtag WHSV Snow. You're doing a great job of doing it so far, so you can share the latest updates and photos. Now let's check in with Amelia again on what we can expect heading into tomorrow and beyond.
Tracking inconvenient weather where you live. Count on the First Alert Storm Team.
Well, there is good news. Now, most of this already making its way eastward. Unfortunately, we're still looking at a little bit more moisture making its way into the area. Now, cold air moisture, that is what's making this storm so potent. So again, very strong winds out there. Lots of us seeing some heavy, heavy snow. I do want to go ahead and zoom in, take a look on what is going on in the valley right now. Again, some areas of some heavier snowfall, a little bit of a break in Augusta County, Pendleton and Highland, but again, going to continue to see that moist air pull into the area, the cold air pull down into the area, and our snow is going to continue overnight. Another thing, if you are headed out, if you have to head out, there is definitely no visibility as we head through the overnight hours, and especially up and down 81. So hard to see your neighbor's house, impossible to see the car in front of you. So please stay off the roads tonight. Now, do want to show you what weather watchers have called in so far. About 5.5 inches in Bergton, 4 in 10th Legion, 3.5 in Fishersville, 5 in Churchville. So you can see those higher elevations starting to pick up a little bit more snowfall. As we head into the evening hours, temperatures dropping down into the mid and upper 20s, 27 in Bergton and Franklin, 26 in Stanley. So lots of us right around those mid and upper 20s. Winds still coming out of the northwest, sustained 8 to 9 miles an hour. So you could see when Carly was out there, that snow was blowing sideways. And that's going to be what it's going to be like through the next couple hours. It's going to stay very windy and heavy snow. Now, compared to yesterday, or compared to the temperatures we just saw in the mid and upper 20s, adding in that wind, we are feeling like lower 20s, and we will soon feel like teens. As we do head into our first alert hour by hour forecast, you can see some bands of heavier snow right around midnight. Those going to continue through the overnight hours, staying mostly in the Central Valley. And then by 6 a.m., we're going to start to see those break up a little. And then another round going to make its way back in as we head into the afternoon. And then finally, all this going to make its way out of the area, and we should clear out as we head into the later afternoon hours on Monday. But certainly going to be a slippery commute out there. And again, we are dealing with a winter storm warning. The heaviest snow overnight, accumulations anywhere from 2 to 8 inches. So we've already started our overnight hours, and you can see a lot of people have already accumulated that much and even more in higher elevations and other areas. So also going to continue to see that as we head through the next couple hours. We do have a severe weather alert day for your Monday, and a 100% chance of a white St. Patrick's Day. Heaviest snow overnight, waking up to 4 or more, 5, 6 inches of snow. Snow continues through the afternoon hours, slick snow-covered roads, so please be very careful as you head out tomorrow. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next 3 days. We do have a severe weather alert day for your Monday, going to be very hazardous driving conditions. Finally clearing out by Tuesday, but temperatures staying cold and moisture staying in the air, so cold and wet. For Tuesday, another chance for some showers on Wednesday. Temperatures closely rebounding into the mid-50s to start spring. That is our first day of spring on Thursday. Back to low 60s on Friday with mostly sunny skies. Just have to get through this next day. And again, I want to show you we do have a severe weather alert day planned for tomorrow. And so that means we need to have extra alert, dangerous travel conditions, and need to stay off of those roads.
Yeah, I was listening to the scanner earlier tonight. You could hear accidents reported all over the place, so definitely a dangerous night to be out. Thank you, Amelia. And still to come, people living in Crimea, Ukraine, vote to secede from Ukraine and join Russia. What's next following this crucial turning point? Plus,
I'll have the latest from the streets of Harrisonburg. We're tracking the storm, plus how you can watch out for power outages in the valley.
in some national news, Sevastopol is a city with close historical and cultural ties to Russia, as well as the home of Russia's Black Sea Fleet. Today, thousands turned out to vote in Crimea's referendum. Anna Karen speaks to many voters who were overwhelmingly supportive of Crimea's bid to actually join Russia.
Well, here in Sevastopol, on the southern tip of the Crimean Peninsula, overwhelming support for the territory to rejoin the Russian Federation as thousands of people turned out to vote in the referendum. Well, this city has extremely close historical and cultural ties with what people call the motherland. It's also the headquarters for Russia's Black Sea Fleet, and the majority of people are Russian-speaking. Well, many describe the day as historic and the first opportunity in decades for the citizens of Crimea to decide their future. I have tears in my eyes. I want to cry. This is such an emotional day. I voted for Russia. We're finally going home. This is a celebration because Russia is spiritually very close to us. It's the motherland, and it's where we always belonged. We want Putin to be our president. We respect him and his policies. He will protect us. We know life will be better under Russia. While the international community has deemed the referendum illegal and vowed to impose economic sanctions, the voters of Sevastopol say the referendum is the will of the people and that the West should simply butt out. Anna Koren, CNN, Sevastopol on the Crimean Peninsula.
And the Crimean Parliament will meet tomorrow to formally ask Moscow to be annexed, and Crimean lawmakers will fly to Moscow later in the day for talks. Well, family members with loved ones on the Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 are growing more frustrated by the day. This video is from Beijing, where many of the passengers are from. At a daily briefing by Malaysia Airlines, a majority of family members indicated that they don't trust the airline or the Malaysian government. One man said families have already lost faith in officials. And still to come on the news at 6.
We're updating you live from the Valley. How one family is trying to steer clear of power outages and take care of their animals at the same time. That story for you in 2 minutes.
At home, at the job, and on the go. Do you know what's going on in the Valley? To sign up today, go to WHSV.com and click on the Connect link to get the latest text alerts.
Well, new at 11, with this weather, people in the Valley could lose power. Workers with Shenandoah Valley Electric Cooperative say it's best to be prepared. Let's head back outside to Carly, who's been checking in with local power companies and people living in the area who are getting ready in case the power goes out. Carly, what are people doing to prepare for this storm?
Channing, there's a lot of things they can do. Now, the SVEC does recommend that people have an outage preparedness kit. That includes batteries, flashlights, and also candles. I do have a candle out here. Not sure how well it will work after this with all the snow. It's going to be pretty wet. One family is also really concerned about their animals. Let's go ahead and take a look at the video from Red Front Supermarket. Now, there are rows of batteries and flashlights here. SVEC does recommend calling in any power outages and staying away from down power lines. Patience Hamilton and her mom have some fun plans, but they're also taking some extra steps to make sure their animals are safe.
Make sure they have water, because sometimes the water freezes, so it's hard to get water to them. And we stock up on popcorn and movies and flashlights.
At last check, there were 1,300 power outages in Shenandoah County. Now, we do have a list for you. That link will be on WHSV.com with all the essentials that you may need if there is a power outage. Live in Harrisonburg, Carly Stevenson, WHSV.
Thank you, Carly, and we'll check back with you here in a bit. Now, switching gears a little bit, a recent survey by the Wall Street Journal shows that more Americans think marijuana is less harmful than sugar, of all things. The survey asked 1,000 people to rate the most harmful substances to your body between tobacco, alcohol, sugar, and marijuana. Most people said they think sugar is more harmful to your body than marijuana, and this comes the same week after a statewide conference was held in Richmond where people talked about whether pot should be legalized here in Virginia. We spoke to people here in the Valley to get their thoughts on the survey.
No, I think marijuana is probably more harmful.
I think people's attitudes are starting to shift. Consciousness is changing a little bit, and people are starting to think more about what they put in their bodies and what's acceptable and what's maybe healthy.
Still, the survey listed tobacco and alcohol as the most harmful amongst all four. And just ahead, the James Madison women winning the CAA title in dominating fashion over defending champion Delaware, bringing the CAA championship trophy back to Harrisonburg. WHSV's Andy Reeves will bring a complete recap of the title game from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, coming up in sports.
It's all led up to this for the JMU ladies. The Dukes with a great regular season, but it's all about championships at Madison. The top-seeded Dukes taking on Delaware in the CAA championship game, trying to win their first conference title since 2011. The JMU ladies fired up. Newman trying to go out a three-time conference champ. Early in the first half, game tied at 7. Lauren Okafor battling through traffic down low, kicks it out to Precious Hall for 3. That's good. Madison takes a 3-point lead. Later in the first half, Duke's up just 4. Nikki Newman finds Hall streaking to the rim for the reverse layup and the foul. She'd missed the free throw, but that sparked something for Madison. JMU going on a run here late in the first. Nikki Newman with a block on one end. Precious Hall brings it up court, then finds Newman streaking to the hoop, who lays it in transition. That capped a 12-0 run for the Dukes. JMU getting some separation. Still in the first, Madison extending that lead. Jasmine Gwathmey with the pull-up jumper here. That is a sweet stroke. Dukes go up by 20. It's an 18-point game just before the half. Burkholder on the drive. She can't get it to go. Gwathmey tries to tip it, but Toya Jiggets gets it in at the buzzer. JMU goes up 20 at the half. Second half, it's more of the same. Burkholder gets the ball to Jasmine Gwathmey in transition. She finishes with the layup. JMU goes up by 24 later. Dukes on the fast break. Hall to Gwathmey. Another layup in transition. JMU up 46-22. Later, it's Gwathmey again, coming up with the loose ball and finishing on the fast break. She had 20 points and 14 rebounds to take home tournament MVP honors, and the celebration was on. Madison wins its first title since 2011. 75-40, the final.
It's not that it was expected, but having done it before and then just doing it again this year, I feel like this year was so much more special. Just with this team, it's a very special team. The chemistry we have on the court as well off the court is something you don't see very often. It doesn't matter who scores the most points or who gets the recognition. We're all out there together, and it was definitely a we effort today as well as this weekend.
Just being able to go out with a win with this team, with Nikki being a senior, getting the chance to keep playing in the NCAA tournament, which is what I wanted to get back to, is just everything I could have wanted for my senior year.
I'm just very happy for them. I'm very happy for the whole team because everybody sacrificed so much. You know, everybody could have gone out and just tried to be the man or done anything, but they really came together and sacrificed, and it's a wonderful feeling.
So the Dukes get the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. We'll find out who they're playing and where they're headed tomorrow night. The selection show for the women's tournament at 7 p.m. on ESPN tomorrow night. But the Dukes not the only local team playing for a conference championship. The UVA men playing for the ACC crown against the Duke Blue Devils down in Greensboro. Very early going, game tied at 2. Malcolm Brogdon off to a hot start, knocking down the 3. Hoos go up by 3. A little later, Joe Harris on the drive. He kicks it out to Brogdon, who knocks down another 3. UVA goes up by 8. But you knew it wouldn't be that easy. This is Duke after all. Jabari Parker on the step-back 3 right here for the Blue Devils. That would tie the game at 19. But the Cavaliers come out on top in this one. London Paranis with the corner 3 right here. Virginia wins its first ACC title in 38 years. Well, that wraps up our coverage from here. If you missed anything from the Madison women's victory over Delaware in the CAA championship game here in Maryland, it'll be on our website shortly, whsv.com/sports. From Upper Marlboro, Maryland, I'm Andy Reeves, WHSV Sports.
All right, thank you, Andy, and we'll be right back with one last look at the weather. And for one last look at the snow as it continues to fall in Harrisonburg, let's check in with Carly Stevenson. Carly, you've been outside since the top of the show. Have conditions changed much since you've been out there?
Channing, the wind has died down a little bit, so it's a little bit easier to see, but the snow's still coming down, and it's a wet snow. I mean, my gloves are pretty soaked. I'm soaked out here. As far as the roads go, I did hear back from Harrisonburg Police in between our commercial breaks, and they tell me that there are 30 to 40 incidents they've dealt with, dozens of abandoned vehicles, so really stay safe out there on the roads. They're having, a lot of difficulties, and VDOT is also recommending that you stay off the interstate, pardon me. Now, as far as sledding goes, we're going to go ahead and take it to a lighter note, and you guys are going to join me after the snow. I'm getting ready. So I hope to see you guys out here in a few minutes. Channing, Amelia.
Looks like a lot of fun, but 30 or 40 incidents just in Harrisonburg alone.
I know. I can't even imagine seeing that many cars this time of night.
It's a lot of accidents. All right. Well, what's coming up for
tonight? Well,
tonight?
this obviously is a big impact snow event. We're going to continue to see this heavy snow overnight tonight, and this will not end until tomorrow afternoon. So already seeing over 2 inches of snow in most places. Could see up to 8, even 10 or 12, depending on your elevation. So very dangerous travel. You could see those roads out there next to Carly. Certainly not a good idea to head out tonight or tomorrow. So severe weather alert day has been issued for Monday. Roads will be snow covered and very slick. We will finally see that clear out Monday afternoon and back to some sunshine for the first day of spring.
All right, stay safe out there and have a good night.